13 WMAZ Morning starts now.
Well, the sun is coming up on a new school year down in Dublin. We'll take a look at your back-to-school forecast and what to expect for the weekend. That's coming up.
Plus, a body found in Crawford County. Now investigators trying to identify the victim. The latest on the case off Highway 341. And a creek in Warner Robins drawing complaints from neighbors. The report the city plans to share today.
We are ending our live back-to-school coverage right here in the DUV. As you can see, we have the Dublin Middle School cheerleaders with us. They are fired up. I'm fired up too. Let's keep this show rolling, Central Georgia.
We love it. We are getting fired up. Good morning. You're looking live over the city of Dublin right now. It is 6:31 on August 4th. I'm Caitlin Heck. As you can see, Wanye out there having a good time in Dublin this morning. Students and teachers getting ready for their first day of class. Let's see it, Wanye.
Yep. Yes, Caitlin, we love to see it. So the Dublin Middle School cheerleaders, they got me fired up this morning. Got a little beat going. We're continuing on our back to school coverage this morning. So we're going to keep you filled up to speed with everything that you need to know. So I'm going to turn up with them a little bit more. And Caitlin and Alex, I'll talk to y'all a little bit later in Macon.
All right. Thank you so much, Wanye. These temperatures firing up too, Alex.
Yes, absolutely. Headed into the 90s today across central Georgia as the sun is coming up here over Lawrence County. Looking at more of the same as we head into the weekend with highs in the 90s and feeling a few degrees warmer than that across central Georgia thanks to the humidity. Waking up to 72 over there in Lawrence County, 71 here in Macon-Bibb as well as in Byron, 72 in Fort Valley, 72 in Crawford County where school gets underway today as well. We have 70s, mid-70s down to the south to get your Thursday started in the picture as well. Radar picture quiet across central Georgia. Was not completely quiet yesterday. Picked up on a lot of rainfall, over 2 inches there in parts of Jones County, nearly 4 inches there on the Baldwin-Putnam County line, not too far away from Lake Sinclair. 92 going to be the high temperature today. It's going to be hot and humid, but again, got to add a few degrees to that to get the heat index values. It's going to be feeling like the upper 90s across central Georgia today. And like I mentioned, Dublin City School is not the only county or not the only school district headed back today. Crawford County is as well. Look for a high temperature right around 91 and in around Roberta to get the new school year started. Caitlin?
Thank you, Alex. This morning, we're continuing to follow news surrounding a 2017 deadly tasing case out of Washington County. This week, we told you the 3 deputies involved could face a second trial after a mistrial last year. It comes as a new district attorney is assigned to the case. Now, the family of Yuri Martin is demanding Sandersville terminate one of the former deputies who works as a volunteer firefighter. State records show Michael Howell has been a certified firefighter since 2010.
He stood there after they don't tase Mr. Martin. He stood there and watched him die, but without trying to use any of his medical training or experience. So he failed upon the duty of act.
Martin's family friend Leonard Jordan says he got 500 signatures from people in Washington County demanding Howell's termination for failing to render aid to Martin. Jordan presented it in front of City Council. The city said they would take no action because Howell meets all requirements to serve as a firefighter.
Y'all don't care about us, period. If you're dead, you would have joined us when them 3 murders killed that black man for nothing. Where were the sheriff? Where were the commissioners? Where were the mayor?
Now, under Georgia law, you cannot be a volunteer firefighter if you've been convicted or pled guilty to a felony in the last 10 years. Howell pled not guilty and has not been convicted. Right now, investigators are still working to figure out how a man found in a ditch in Crawford County died. The sheriff's office says Tuesday a state worker cutting grass found the man's body near Highway 341. The GBI and other agencies are working to identify him. His body will go to the GBI crime lab for an autopsy to determine the cause of death. This afternoon, Warner Robins will host an information session on how they can take better care of Bagall Creek. It runs through much of the International City, and over the years, neighbors have complained about flooding along with trash and debris in the creek. Last year, Warner Robins hired Integrated Science and Engineering, Inc. to help them collect data. For 8 months, they've collected soil samples and studied the sediment, erosion, and access points. City Stormwater Compliance Director Craig Woodyard says they will share their full report today. The meeting is at 1 this afternoon in City Hall's Carolyn Robbins conference room. Time is 6:35 in your state news. A nuclear power plant being built in Georgia can start loading radioactive fuel into one of its new reactors. That's the message coming from federal regulators. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission announced the approval yesterday for Southern Nuclear Operating Company at Plant Vogtle. Southern Company CEO told investors last week the company hopes to begin loading fuel in October. The third reactor is supposed to begin generating power by March of next year. That was originally set to start back in 2016. Republican U.S. Senate candidate Herschel Walker now accepted an invitation to debate Democratic incumbent Raphael Warnock, but it's not one of the 3 debate invitations Warnock earlier agreed to. So it's still unclear whether the two will face off in person before the November general election. Walker's campaign says he accepted Nexstar Media Group's invitation to debate Warnock in Savannah on October 14th. Back in June, Warnock accepted invitations for a separate Savannah debate, plus events in Atlanta and Macon. The Macon Bib Transit Authority says they have a big announcement planned for this morning, celebrating Macon's history, heritage, and culture. MTA will hold a press conference at Terminal Station on Cherry Street at 11:15 this morning. We'll keep you updated on air and online as we learn more. Well, the sounds of alarm clocks and school bells means back to school season is here in full force. 3 more of our Central Georgia districts start classes this morning. Today, Crawford, Dodge, and Dublin City School students, it's your turn to return to the classroom. Tomorrow, Bleckley, Telfair, and Washington County all head back to school. Still ahead, we're going to check back in with Wanye as he talks with Dublin City School Superintendent Fred Williams about the new year. We'll have a live interview coming up after the break. Plus,
have some fun in the sun at your favorite beach. I want you to be mindful of rip currents. I'll dive into rip current formation and how you can protect yourself and others in the ocean.
the time is now 6:37 for all those kiddos getting ready to start their school year, headed to the bus stop. Not a bad morning, much better than yesterday for Macon Bib students.
Yeah, we had a few sprinkles in the area yesterday, but you're talking about the school bells. It reminds me, did you have an actual bell in school, or did you just have a tone over the intercom?
I want to say we had a tone.
Yes, we were the same way, but it wasn't even a bell. It was just like a beep.
Now looking back, I think I just drowned that out like a fever dream. I don't want to think about it.
See, and the reason I'm thinking about it is because it showed up in my dream last night. It was like I was in high school however many years ago, and it's still showing up in my dream of, all right, class is over, time to move on. Well, that's what's going to be going on across Dublin this morning as Dublin City Schools head back, and also Crawford County, Dodge County getting in on the action as well. Of course, Houston County's already back in school, Macon Bib's already back in school, Monroe County's already back in school. So by the time we get to tomorrow, a majority of our students will be back in. 72 is what we're waking up to in Dublin this morning. We got 72 in Fort Valley, 71 in Byron, 70 in Warner Robins, 73 up in Jones County where they went back to school on Tuesday, 71 in Forsyth, and 73 down in Hawkinsville. Also 73 in Americus, Cordele, Rochelle, 73 a popular number there in our southern tier of counties. Mostly quiet across the southeast this morning, 73 in Montgomery as well, 74 Columbus, Mississippi, 84 in Dallas, 86 in Tulsa where it is 5:38 in the morning there right now. Also watching this complex of storms moving from Missouri into Arkansas. That's going to stay up there, not going to be a concern for us here in central Georgia. As we get into the afternoon hours, we're going to begin to develop some scattered showers and storms like we're used to here in the Peach State. Here's 5 p.m. Locally heavy downpours will be possible, maybe some frequent lightning, gusty winds. In fact, I saw a picture of some damage yesterday thanks to those gusty winds. We did have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Jones, Baldwin, Jasper, and Putnam counties yesterday afternoon. That will be possible again today. Again, it's going to be a rogue storm if that does happen, but not widespread. On into the evening tonight, maybe 1 or 2 showers lingering around before we are completely dry tomorrow morning. Then once we get into Friday, much of the same. Notice a general motion of these showers are going to be from the coast inland. This is a sea breeze moving into central Georgia thanks to the Atlantic Ocean, and then those will go to bed and fall apart as we work our way through the day on Friday. And then on Saturday, again, about a 20% chance of rain. On into next week, we're going to keep the 20 to 30% chance of rain around Monday and Tuesday. But then once we get to Tuesday, we'll watch this front begin to move closer to central Georgia. Some question marks on whether or not it actually moves into central Georgia, but if it does so, we will be seeing an enhanced rain chance across the Peach State, and it's possible that it moves in and just falls apart, so it's not going to do a whole lot to our temperatures. 30% chance of rain today, 20% for Friday through Sunday. On into the weekend, the humidity going to stay high though, in the very muggy range at least through the next 7 days. Today, a high temperature of about 92. It's going to be hot and humid. Sunrise officially here in the next few minutes with about a 30% chance of rain. The heat index values today into the upper 90s. At least we're not talking about the low 100s. That's the good news out of all of this, but we are still talking about values 97, 98, 99 possible through the afternoon hours. There's the 7-day forecast, mid-90s across the board, a 20 to 30% chance of rain each day until we get to Wednesday. Then it's up to a 40% chance of rain. But one thing that you can tack on 100% chance to is the humidity sticking around, no pun intended, as we work our way through the month of August. Caitlin?
Thanks, Alex. It's 6:40. Before we go, we are getting you pumped up for the school year. Let's head back on out to Dublin Middle School for a look at their cheerleaders getting us fired up this morning.